Hello, welcome to today's video. Today I am bringing something a little bit different. If you've watched some of my other content recently, you would know that I have been kind of wanting to build out a terrarium, and not like a terrarium where it's just moss like on the glass. Not the kind of terrarium where every plant is in a pot. It's kind of the setup I have now. You guys can't see it right now, but there is a taller plant shelf to my left. And in that area is where I want to install a terrarium. And recently, I don't know what has really gone into me, but I've had this sort of thought in my head for a while now, like since the beginning of the summer, and recently I just cannot shake it, and so I started working on a terrarium build. It's actually back in this corner right here, this little box right here next to the piece of driftwood. I recently sealed it. I'm not sure that it's like up to standards of being sealed or anything like that, but I kind of wanted to document this just to sort of keep it updated, I guess, but also to kind of have something to look back on. And so hopefully this will either inspire you or it'll be fun to just watch someone build out a terrarium for the first time with zero experience. And so the idea is to have the terrarium be in here, and I haven't even like put it in here, tested it out, nothing. I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like in here. I know there's probably gonna be like a sliver of margin on the ends, kind of like this, where it doesn't exactly fit in here, which I mean is fine. So this is it. And a while back, I think it was in my last week of, it was in my like home updates, I think, where I got my like new plant shelf. I also got this at like a yard sale for free. It's just a clear display case, and things scare me. And it had this was actually flipped. So this soft part, it's like I don't know how to describe, like a type of velvet, I guess. It was actually flipped and the velvet was on the inside, and then this just kind of sits right here, like on top. It doesn't actually enclose it completely. It just kind of lays there, and so it'll fall out. So I definitely need to figure out something for that. I've also sealed the entirety of the inside, for the most part, at least. I think that there's definitely some, I'm probably going to seal the bottom a little bit better because I do want to put in like a clear piece of acetate here to actually be able to put like soil down here. Maybe it'll be like a short level, because like with exoterras that are meant for like terrariums, they'll have this area right here where there's like, you know, it's like a container to hold the substrate or whatever it is. And so I want to replicate that in here. I was also looking at some terrarium designs for like what I wanted to be on the inside and how I wanted it to look. And originally I did want there to be like wood. Like I saw a couple on Pinterest, I'll actually pop them in, that had like wood just coming straight down that kind of looked like a forest type of vibe. But I realized that since the frame is actually wood, I think that I'm just gonna go with like all greenery, maybe a bunch of begonias, which we'll build up to at some point. Obviously not right now, it's the holidays. Yeah, so I already have this kind of thought out. And I'm honestly just really excited to get into the building out of it, so maybe we'll just go straight to that. becomes more of a task. Oh god, I just did that. Now it becomes more of a task because I have to get all of this out without making a mess. So I guess what I'm gonna do is flip it this way, and whatever falls, it'll fall into like a little cash pot type situation. I'm kind of scared because I don't want all of this to just go on the carpet. Oh my god, this is so bad. All I'm gonna do is just flip it upside down on top of this thing. Oh, maybe not upside down. Okay. Okay. Almost none of it stuck, literally. I think it did like worse than it actually helped, I guess, because a lot of the dirt is actually stuck on the sides because it swelled so much. It's just kind of there. I think when everything is dry, I might take a brush and like really try and get this stuff out, but as of right now, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm also not sure on whether I should carve it or not. I don't know, I kind of like how it looks like a rock in a way. Like it looks like, you know, it would be rocks and stuff. And the reason that I'm also ripping off all of the sphagnum moss is because I'm just gonna end up going the silicone route. It's what I was originally gonna do, and then I saw people doing it this way, and I decided to try it, and I honestly wish I didn't. I think I would have just been happier with the original route of like letting this set and then going in with silicone instead of trying to mash it all into one. The silicone hasn't even set, and I don't know, because this time around I actually used a different silicone. Before I used one that was in like a metal tube, and the metal tube just broke halfway through, and it was just like splurging everywhere. Even if I was just squeezing it out of one nozzle, it would come out of the side where it broke. So I decided to go with plastic, but this thing is taking a really long time. It's also it's also a much thicker coat, so I'm like, I can't really blame it. I just hope that it sets really nicely. I'm probably gonna leave this by the window because it is starting to stink a little bit. I really do feel like I should carve it just because like I barely have any room until this meets the front, and I kind of was hoping for more of a feel for it to be further back in, is what I'm saying. I kind of wanted it to be further back in so I could actually pot plants up, and we'll just see how this goes. Alright, hello, it is editing Lily, and this whole clip does have an audio, but for some reason my editing program will not pick it up. It is just way too low. If you haven't noticed, the audio throughout this whole video is just kind of weird. I'm not sure if it's something with my mic, with my editing software, I have no clue, but I'm doing my best to fix it. Moving on, in this clip, I am basically saying to if you're going to do this process, specifically the silicone, do it. Actually, I don't even know if it was the silicone or the foam. It was probably the foam. It makes more sense, but actually, I don't know. Anyways, moral of the story, do this in an area with good ventilation. I gave myself the world's biggest headache. I couldn't sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night with my head pounding, like literally the worst headache I've ever had in my life because I didn't have good ventilation. So learn from my mistakes. Yes, I know I don't need to hear it in the comments. It was dumb. But yeah, make sure to do it with good ventilation. And I did end up carving the foam, and so now there is a lot more room in the front for those plants to just grow either towards the front or just upwards. Before, I feel like I was compensating too much for where the plants would be. And yeah, if you have trichophobia, I'm sorry if this really bugs you. It kind of was starting to bug me, but you know, we live. Also, just don't put as much foam as I did. It's expanding and you have to kind of expect it to expand pretty big. A lot of the foam on the inside actually didn't cure, so while I was carving, there was little bubbles that would kind of pop out and continue to expand because the inside didn't finish curing evenly. And now we're going to place the sphagnum moss on top of the foam area that we just carved so that it actually sticks onto it. And yeah, this actually ended up working really, really well. So definitely don't do the first method. And I believe the reason why the first method actually wasn't working is because the sphagnum moss, the dirt, was kind of moist, and so it just kind of rejected it. So there's a little tip, I guess, if you're wanting to do it that way. Of course, I literally just did this all on my shoe. A lot has changed with the terrarium, and so I just wanted to update you guys. It is currently Saturday, and just to give you guys a little bit of a preface, this terrarium has been in my brain, like stored in my little file cabinet in my brain for like over maybe 3 years, like probably my whole hobby, to be honest. I've always had the thought of making one, and it wasn't until, I don't know why, honestly, just until this winter break that I really sort of got kick started with that. I think I've just been working so much in my brain that I feel like I need to just work with my hands and still be able to include like my brain into the process of like creatively designing it and displaying it and all of those things. Over the years, I've bought in multiple things in the idea that I would either use it for this or use it for mounting or use it for something sort of creative, and that has really ruled in my favor. I'm not like rushing to like buy stuff to kind of use. And so I have like bark saved up that I like bought just because I liked how it looked. Like I really like how this, you know, silhouette of the side of this bark looks. And I also bought like a cork bark, which I also integrated into this. While I was making this, I did have that cork bark kind of in the back of my head, but I was like, it's too big to just, it's too big. I only have one piece, and it would just be weird to kind of include it. And after I put all the moss on, and I also bought like pins and things, so it'll be really easy to like pin plants to the wall and just mount things. And I actually, like, I cannot explain how serendipitous this kind of terrarium has become and formed. It's just crazy to me. Like, there's features in the wood that I didn't even think about, and somehow they just tie in seamlessly. We'll get to it. I have included that wood in here, and you know, originally it was way too big and it was just way too bulky. It had way too many like offsets. It was kind of like curving in and out in weird spots, and so I was like, maybe I shouldn't use it. And I cannot explain to you how perfect this freaking bark is. I ended up breaking it up, and I did this all off camera just because it was kind of like, it's kind of my process. I feel like I just kind of have to see how things go, and it's not really planned at all or anything like that. But this is what the terrarium looks like, and you guys can see the bark in here. Let me lower you guys so I can actually show you. There is a piece of wood right here, a piece of cork bark, and you know how I made kind of like that hump? I brought it back in and up. So there was actually like a lump right here in the bark where it kind of creates a little pocket so a plant can sit in here, and it's like perfectly made for this little like inset right here, this little niche. The same has happened with a couple of the other pieces. Like there's a small little like hole in this little piece of cork bark down here. There's cork bark right here, there's cork bark right here, and then this one also has like a little hole in the top that goes through the bottom down to here. I'm thinking maybe I put my orchid here, but I'm not sure. Originally I was just planning on putting begonias in here, but I also have like gigas that I'd like to see in here. It's just kind of gonna be like whatever it turns out to be. I feel like I might have ordered way too many plants, to be honest, which yes, I did put it in order. And I've already like water tested it kind of. When I was rinsing it down, I just let the water sit at the bottom for a little bit and it wasn't really leaking, so I think it's fine. I want to include this just because I don't really know where else I'm gonna use this, and I was thinking maybe just laying it like that on the side of it, you know? We'll see how it builds itself and, you know, how it goes. I actually did place an order with Botanicas, so that should be coming within the new year. Shipping is kind of crazy right now, and there's also some things that I got that were like ready, that were under the category of like ready soon, which means that they have those plants, but it's kind of like a pre-order, I guess. You're not gonna get it exactly after you order it. They kind of have to wait a little bit for them to grow, and I got a bunch of cool plants. I was actually putting them into my Notion app yesterday. I made a Notion like a while ago and I kind of abandoned it. I think it's just like a ritual with Notion, like you end up making one and then it just sits there and then you suddenly get the inspiration to really restart it again. But I do have like a page that's just filled with all of my plants. It's not exactly up to date. The only reason that I really go straight to Botanicas is because they're so close to me. Botanicas is actually down south to me. They're in Tacoma, and so it's like, it just feels nice to kind of shop local, I guess. And I don't really see any other people doing what Botanicas does. They really mainly focus on begonias. They do have some philodendrons and like a lot of those more like prestigious or more like sought after philodendrons. It's just kind of like a no-brainer to me. Like if I'm looking for terrarium plants, Botanicas is right there. I put in an order with Botanicas. Botanicas is like a terrarium shop here local to Washington. They don't have like a storefront, but they do have an Etsy shop, which I've ordered from them before. There's probably a previous video up somewhere of an order that I did. All of those died because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but with these I feel a lot more confident because I actually have a purpose for them. Like they're actually going into a terrarium, not just gonna be a part of my collection. But I'm just gonna start to order the package. We have it here and I did order quite a bit. I want to say there's probably at least 6. I want to say there's probably at least 6 begonias in here, and I really hope that 1, these are okay, and 2, that they actually survive within my collection. I've been really great and good at my begonias lately, so I feel like it'll be okay, but you know, these are terrarium plants, but I don't know. We will see where this goes. Oh, okay. Quick little story time. I did put in 2 orders originally because I was looking at the plants before Christmas and I was like, you know what, I don't have the money right now to splurge on all of these plants, but I really wanted one specific plant, so I just put an order for that one specific plant, and then I ended up getting some more begonias as a Christmas present. And so some of the soil is a little loose, but oh well. And so I have 2 orders in with them, and I was kind of nervous because in the second order I was so rushed to like get it fulfilled or like get it ordered or whatever that I forgot to put in a heat pack and like the winter care and all of that. And I did put it in the first order, but I wasn't sure if they were going to combine them. Right now it only says that the second order is delivered or whatever. It doesn't say that both of them are, so. But there is a heat pack in here, so I think it'll be okay. But okay, let me just start with this one. And they all have their little names on them, and I'm so excited. Okay, this is Begonia. This is Begonia Botanicas 56 version 2, and I don't remember what they look like. Should I pop it up? I don't know. I kind of want to. Oh, okay. This one is like orangey, velvety. All of these, I believe, are velvet begonias. I don't think there's one that isn't, but I am honestly super excited. Like, you guys have no idea. Okay, this is Botanica's 56 version 2. I don't remember what the first version was. I do know what they look like, but I just cannot recall it. Oh my god. This is even better in person. Do you guys see how orange it is? Okay, I don't want to snap it, so I'm going to be very gentle. There we go. Do you guys see that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so excited. What the heck? Okay. This is very flimsy. I'm kind of scared. Okay, and these will be going into my terrarium like soon after this video. So, oh, and they improved their soil. Before they used to use like a sphagnum petal mix, and I wasn't too big a fan of that, but this mix looks really good. It looks really, really good for the begonias. But look at this. Oh my god, it's so perfect. It is so perfect. I was having a hard time. Oh god, I was having a hard time picking begonias that looked different. I definitely leaned a lot toward the like just velvety, no spots, no lines, no anything. But this one I'm super happy with. I fell in love with like the oranginess tone within this plant, and it is so stunning. It did not disappoint. And all I'm going to do to keep them humid right now is just pop on their little cap as best as I can until I put those away. I am so excited. Okay. Oh, I forgot to even open this, but I've already looked at this, I think. Yeah, all of this literally just talks. They even included like a little care guide for your begonias and the cuttings and repotting tips. Oh my gosh. I think they might have updated this too since I last saw it. So yeah, I'll definitely read that through, but I'm sorry, I'm just so excited to unwrap all of these. By the way, look at inside of this box, you guys. It is so full. Like, so full. I'm not even kidding. Okay, let's see. I'll probably open this one last. This is a cutting of something that I got, I believe. Yeah, this is a cutting. And so I'll open that one last. This is Botanica's 77. This one I was so excited for. Like, unbelievably excited for. So let's take a look at this one. These were supposed to come in, yes, tomorrow, or on Friday actually. I saw yesterday night, I saw that these were supposed to be delivered on Friday, but they're here and it's Wednesday. So literally the shipping, obviously I live like an hour away from their like locality, so it's not even really like, it's gonna be fast shipping is what I'm trying to say. There's so much soil everywhere. This one I am okay, these are definitely getting a lot of light, which is fine, but I'm definitely gonna have to keep that up because this one is very, very bleached. Is this still warm? Not really. This one is very, very bleached, but I really, really liked the leaf shape on this, and it is just, I cannot express the excitement that I have for these begonias just because I I don't know, I've been yearning for something that like challenges me. I feel like I'm not sure that I've talked about this before, but I feel like that's the reason that I tend to get a lot more like uncommon plants, like actually uncommon plants that you don't really see a lot. Like for example, the like these ceratostemmas, the what is it called, the Sphairospermum buxifolium that I have. Yeah, those kinds of plants that I just kind of have to learn as I'm caring for them instead of like already knowing what I'm doing. Yeah, I've been kind of wanting something that will challenge me a little bit, and so that's why I feel like the terrarium is like the perfect option for that, honestly. Oh my gosh, this one looks so pretty. Literally have nothing bad to say. I wish it wasn't so bleached though, but this one has a very interesting shape. This is the purple starburst, the Botanica's, where is it? 90. This is Botanica's 90. This is one that I was kind of debating not purchasing just because I feel like some terrarium begonias kind of gross me out a little bit, and this might be controversial, but some terrarium begonias tend to have like a moldy look to them. Like it literally looks like there's mold spores on leaves. If you guys have ever experienced like that certain fungi that's like below in the soil that has those like white little specks everywhere, there's some terrarium begonias that seriously remind me of that, like way too much, and I just tend to veer away from those, even though they're still beautiful, but they're just not, I don't know, they're just not really appealing to me, I guess. This is one of those that kind of veers on that edge of like looking like mold but also not. And so I was definitely like debating on what to do. I was like, do I get it? Do I not? And I don't know. I just decided to, because I was like, you know what? I'm getting a lot of velvety ones. And this one has a beautiful sheen on it that it's like, why wouldn't I? And I'm going to try to remember the names of these. I'm probably not going to, especially when they grow out more. Oh my god, this one looks so good. Like just seeing the shadow of the leaf on the outside, it looks crazy. Okay. I really don't like how flimsy these are, but it is what it is. I really don't have a choice. Oh. What? I am so sorry for ever shitting on this plant. What? Okay, you know those, I don't know the name for them, but I remember there would be like book tags or posters that there would be a face, like smiling or something, and then you would move and it would like be a regular face or whatever. That's exactly what these spots remind me of, because as you move around, some of them disappear and will come back into focus. So like if I shift it a little bit, hopefully, I really pray that my thing is focusing. If not, I'll definitely take some B-roll shots of these, but you guys see how like it just shifts, right? Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, and the color on these are amazing, like literally amazing, spectacular color, all of that. Oh, I'm super excited. I'm really glad that these are coming in. Like, this is a small size, by the way, so I can't even imagine what the like larger size looks like. But I'm really happy with the size of these as well. Like, they're at a good size where they're going to settle, oh my god, where they're gonna settle in great. But you also still have some room for them to grow within your collection, which is just amazing. I really hope that these do well in my space and in my collection, because these are just unbelievable, honestly. I cannot say that enough. You know what I might actually do before I put them in the terrarium is put them in a little prop box for a little bit, get them settled in first, and then, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And then once they're settled in and I can actually care for them, we're gonna move them into the terrarium, which sounds like a plan because I literally cleared out my prop box. Like, as I was building out the terrarium, the prop box was like one of the first things to go. What did I do with that actually? I don't know where I put it. It's probably back here somewhere. I'll figure it out, but I think that's the plan for now. Oh my gosh, these are stunning, you guys. And I'm honestly really excited because I get to share these plants now too. Like whenever I'm doing trades, like, I don't know, I feel like with the plants that I have, in trades I always felt like it wasn't enough for some people. Like maybe I didn't have something that they would be interested in. And now I just like am gonna have these to like share. I've talked about this friend before on my channel, but I have a friend who's really into begonias. Like she knows how to care for them. Even the terrarium ones, like she's the master, and I'm really excited to get to share these with her too, because I know we've been eyeing botanicas for so long, and so now to just like be able to have their plants, especially her, like again, she just grows begonias really well. Oh my god, I'm getting dirt all over my keyboard. Let's do this one. We're almost getting to the bigger ones, which I'm a little nervous about. I don't know why they're so big, but this is Botanica's 44. Is this the one I ordered? Okay, this is the one that I put a singular order in for, and this one, I really hope it, like, if this dies, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cry because this one, I just, as soon as I saw it, I fell in love with the features, and the parentage makes so much sense as well. By the way, Botanicas does name their plants. It's because they do the crosses, and it's just a numbering system of sort of remembering what they are, and then under those numbers they will insert the names. Some of them don't get released for a while, but others do, and this one is released. Oh my god, you guys, I'm actually super excited for this one. Like, this is my dream begonia. If I had to pick one, this would be it. It's okay. Come here. Sorry guys, Lila's interrupting. She's trying to come sit. Oh, I know. There you go. Okay. The last time I put an order in with Botanicas, I definitely felt kind of like uneasiness because I didn't really know how to care for begonias, like non-terrarium begonias. It just felt like, oh my god, like panicky about like if I did something like it was just gonna die. Now I feel like a sense of confidence, like okay, I got these, like, you know, I'm gonna do things right. And I seriously just cannot wait to grow these. These excite me so much. And honestly, recently I've kind of been struggling with that, like feeling excited about my plants and the hobby in general. I think partially that's just from the oversaturation of like plants that are trendy. Like there's a lot of plants right now that are really trendy that everyone's just kind of trying to hunt for or buy. And honestly, all of the plants that I have ordered, I'm not ordering them because I saw them on social media and I'm just like overly obsessed with them. I literally just really love their delicate features, and I'm getting them because I want to grow them, I want to experience them, and I want them to create a very nice display within my collection. I cannot wait for you guys to see the terrarium, especially seeing how great these plants are coming in. Like, I just know that terrarium is gonna look so amazing. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. But okay, let's see how this one is doing. Shut up. I am too stunned right now. I'm not even kidding. What? What the heck? You guys. This is Botanica's 44. And in the pictures, this pinky dot, like the pinky dots and the outlines, look a lot more red. I think it's just because this is a little bit sun stressed, but it is stunning. Like, I literally have no words. This is literally my dream begonia. And I have no words. I literally have no words. What the heck? The leaves are just so perfect. Like, so perfect. Okay. I'm so excited. I'm really excited. Okay, we're gonna put that one's little cap back on. Oh my god, Lila has soil all over her. Okay, now we're getting to the bigger ones. This is Botanica's 93. Oh, I remember why I got this one. I got this one because I saw, I don't remember what specific number it was, but I saw one on their Etsy shop that was more of like a shingling one, and I thought that it could be cool to add into the terrarium. It would just be a different growth pattern and add, you know, a bunch of things into the, like, it would contrast a lot with the other more cane-like that I was getting. But I didn't like love it. It was just nice because of the way that it shingled, but other than that, it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like I needed it. It wasn't like I needed it or like I really, really loved it, you know? I wasn't like too crazy about it, but this one has that same sort of growth pattern that I was looking for. And I was choosing between two of them because one of them had bigger leaves and it was like a more mature specimen. And then this one, the one that I got, had like a lot, it was smaller, more immature, but it had a lot more growth points. And I kind of wanted to start small like that. So I just decided to get this one. It's flowering. Oh my god. They definitely sent me the wrong one. Or did they? And this one is just grown out or something. This one looks very, very similar to the 56, but it's not as orangey. Or not the 56. Was I thinking the 56? Or I think I was thinking the 77. Already getting them confused, but I think this one looks really similar to the 77 in terms of the leaf shape, but the color and the size, like the size of the leaves and the maturity that they can get to. Okay, this one's like full on cane, which I love. This looks like a mess. I'm so sorry. There's like polyfill everywhere. Yeah, Botanica's 93. Such a mature specimen. This one was a little bit pricier compared to the other ones. But you guys, this specimen is massive. And I'm really happy that it's actually like a cane. The ones that we've been seeing previously, they are cane, but they have like a more less sturdy, less rigid stem. Yeah, this one has so many growth points, so many freaking leaves. Oh my gosh. That is getting annoyed. You have polyfill all over you. Huh? Come here. Come here. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, yeah, I'm super amazed with this one. This polyfill is really gonna get me because it's just clinging onto every single point that it can. But this one is so stunning. It's already flowering. Like, this is a specimen of a plant, so I'm really excited for this one. Again, we're gonna put its little cap on, and we only have 2 plants left. Okay, let's see. This is the biggest pot and package in here. This is Botanica's 60. I don't remember why I got this one. I think I got it because of it's a cross with Darth Vaderiana, and it has that outline on it. Like, if you know Darth Vaderiana, you know what I'm talking about, like that silver margin of the plant, and it was also dark and velvety. You can kind of get a pattern going here, but oh, I'm sorry, I am speechless. I am genuinely out of words. Like, I just don't even know what to say. It has like this metallic-y finish on the, like, literally on the leaf blade. Oh, I really hope my camera's focusing. So yeah, that is Botanica's, what is this one? 60. Again, really great specimen, really big, a lot bigger than I thought I was getting. I'm not even kidding with all of these plants, I feel that way. Let's see. can get its little coat back on. The last one are cuttings, and this is how they package all of their cuttings. Oh my god, my desk is a mess. But yeah, this is how they package all of their cuttings. They put them in a bag with some polyfill and a little bit of water at the bottom. Like literally the slightest bit of water towards the bottom of the bag. I'm just gonna rip this open. Let's see. This is one that I was debating. This is one that I was also debating not getting. I don't know why. I have an issue with those speckly sort of begonias, but I do. And this is why I was debating not getting it. And also my thing was already way too much. But looking at this leaf, oh my god. Oh my god. I am stunned. I am genuinely stunned, and this is a leaf cutting as well, so it'll hopefully root. Oh! Okay, I ordered let me say what plant this is. This is Botanica's 105 version 1, and the main reason that I wanted to get this plant after kind of analyzing how I was feeling, all of that, is because I kind of like how it looks like it has algae or like moss just like rubbed onto the leaf. These leaves are massive. I don't think this is gonna fit in my terrarium, but I think I was sent both versions, if I'm being honest, because this is the leaf cutting. This does look like the picture. It really, really does. And then I was also sent this, which isn't a leaf cutting. As you guys can see, there's a stem here, and it just looks a lot different, a lot deeper, darker. I don't know. And this newest leaf is actually stunning. Oh my gosh, I can't. I really can't. I feel so grateful for all of these. I don't know where I'm gonna put this. I'm probably gonna put this in water. The leaf cutting, I don't want this to die, and I've never had success with the leaf cutting. Maybe I'll just pop this in water as well. I don't know. I've tried doing leaf cuttings in soil and it just never works. Maybe I'll try perlite. But yeah, these are the last two that I got, and I believe these are the two different versions, if I'm not wrong. I'll pop in a picture of the version 1 and then the version 2 so that you guys can see the real differences. There's actually multiple forms of this one singular begonia, so I'm putting them all up right now. I literally only thought there was 2 or 3, and then I looked it up and there's like a bunch of them, up to 5, maybe even 6, which is kind of cool. See the real differences, but I don't know, I really love this one. It really has grown on me. So yeah, now I have to rush to set up that prop box, so I will leave you guys off here. We will Hello everyone. It is currently February 16th, and this is where the terrarium is at. A lot has actually changed. I kind of wish I did a actual video of what it looked like at the point before I changed it. I did change it twice now, I believe. The last time it wasn't really that big of a change. I kind of just added this kokedama, but this last time that I changed it, I really did shift a lot of the plants. I actually added something in the substrate as well. So let's talk about it. I first want to start with like issues that I had before I changed it, like right after I finished the terrarium and was starting to add the plants in. The silicone smell in this thing stayed for quite a bit. I want to say like at least a week. And mind you, I let this thing dry outside, like where there was wind, where there was fresh air. I let it dry outside on my patio for like 4 to 5 days, like almost a week. And then even after that, it still continued to have the smell. And at that point, I did plant into it. I planted into it thinking that the plants would kind of help with that situation. They'd kind of like get rid of the smell with their like I don't remember the word for it, but when they take in CO2 and like transfer it to oxygen, that wasn't really helping, and I feel like the begonias just weren't doing that great. At that point, I think I did have begonias in here. Oh yeah, I had my Malachosticta in here, and my Malachosticta actually died. I think it could have easily been because of the silicone. It was actually planted where this middle begonia was. Oh my god, I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. And so it was like right next to the wall. It could have easily been because of the silicone. But I'm not sure if that's exactly what it is from. But yeah, that silicone smell definitely does stay. And this thing it's right next to my bed, so every time I would open it, it would just, smell like silicone, and it wasn't the greatest. I also think it had to do with the brand of silicone that I got. I would probably do a little bit more research on the tools that I was using, because the first silicone was fine, I just didn't really like the tube. But the second one, I liked the tube, but that one was such a strong smell. It took forever to dry. There's just a bunch of issues with that one. I also had some slight issues with the wall. Like, as you guys can see now, the wall looks a lot more planted in. It looks like there's actually living things on the wall. At the beginning, it really didn't look like that. Like, it was maybe just my orchid. My gigas was actually planted behind this little plant here. It really did not look like thoroughly built out, and it's what I wanted to focus on. Like, that's the whole reason that I wanted the wall, is because I really enjoyed the look of like plants just growing on it and really just thriving on a wall looking like a jungle. So this time around, I really focused on putting things on the wall. There's actually a solanum behind this. You guys can see it in the corner right there. That was actually planted in the substrate as well, but I decided to take it out because if you have a solanum, they root like crazy, and I just didn't want it to take over like all of the root space below all of these plants and like choke them out and stuff. Like, I just really wanted it to be like a simple build. I didn't want to have to do a bunch of maintenance, so I actually planted that in the little divot behind this little pink begonia. I think that's Botanicus 44. There's like a little piece of cork bark that has a hole in it, like a little niche, kind of like this one where you can actually pot a plant in there. And I just popped it in there, and if it roots up in there, it'll hopefully root up on the wall and it won't be as bad. But yeah, I did move that up, and I also added this Kokedama. This is actually a bunch of Utricularia that I had with my carnivorous plants, but I've since decided to separate it out because this thing, it's just like the solanum, it'll choke out your carnivorous plants, and it just grows really, really fast. So I thought that like filling this whole moss ball with it would be a nice feature, and that plant has really, really beautiful flowers on it. But yeah, a lot of things are planted on the wall now, like they definitely look. I actually added this little begonia last night. I got some cuttings from a friend, and I really, really like that begonia. Actually, I'm super excited to see that one grow in. And yeah, I'm just a lot more happier with the way that the wall looks. The moss is starting to grow in. I feel like it's really gonna become my favorite piece within my collection. Oh, before I changed it this last time, there was actually a lot of mold issues down below in the pond. I don't think there is any now that I've noticed, at least, but yeah, there was like mold spores starting to grow on the leca and stuff, but this last time, I don't know, I didn't really pay much mind to it because it's below the substrate, and I'm sure that these plants are gonna get rid of it. There has also been like these little baby spiders, let's call them like soil mites or something, that have been eating on the decaying matter. There is quite a lot. Like sometimes I'll even find them on this little ledge. And they're very, very small, very, very small. I don't know, I haven't really paid that much mind to it. Other than that, I haven't really experienced any mold issues. It's all pretty like okay and grows pretty nicely. I do actually have some cuttings in here. Let me take those out so you guys can get the full effect. It does look pretty full with them in it, but there is still some pretty big gaps without them. And these are just cuttings for a friend that I've been growing out. I generally, with the first iteration, like the very first iteration of this terrarium, I'm super happy with the cork bark edition. Like, I don't know what this thing would have been without it. It would have just been, you know, a bunch of moss on the background, but I actually really, really like this like cork bark. I really like that my orchid is on one, and I recently did change this one up in the corner. It wasn't there before, and I did decide to add it because it was like behind here somewhere, and it wasn't like physically being seen at all. So I really, really do love the cork bark. And originally I also had this piece of wood inside of it, but I took it out because when I decided to change things around, there was actually so much mold on here, and so I need to bake this in the oven to really get rid of all of the nasty things on here, so that hopefully I can add it in. I had it like going across behind, kind of like that, and I did really like it. I really do like this. I really do like this piece of wood. So I do want to display it, and especially when it's wet, it has such a beautiful color to it. So I think that this is something I do want to add in the future, but I just haven't gotten around to sanitizing it whatsoever. Oh, and I also changed the like slope of this actually this last time. I added a Starbucks cup, like a big giant venti Starbucks cup, down below towards the back, just to use less substrate. And also I felt like as I watered this, the substrate just kept coming down towards the front of this, and so this actually ended up being like maybe like a centimeter. There was a really small gap in between like where the start of the substrate was and the top of this was, which when I do get isopods, I really wouldn't appreciate that because they could just like climb over it and stuff. I'm really happy with the slope, and I also changed the placement of the plants a lot. Before, this plant was in the middle, and then this plant in the middle was actually all the way in the corner, and I did kind of shift things around based on what I really enjoyed to look at, what I felt like I wasn't seeing enough, which definitely was this middle plant. That one is actually one of my favorites in this terrarium, which we will get to in just a moment. And so far everything has stayed. Like I haven't seen substrate come rolling down at all. I also topped this up with tree fern fiber, just a little thin layer of tree fern fiber to really make sure that things were gonna stay put. And yeah, I just really like the look of the tree fern fiber. Before, I felt like I was seeing a lot of the cocoa chips and the perlite and the pumice and the sphagnum moss, so it was just too much variation in the substrate, when the focus shouldn't be on the substrate. It should be more on the plants and the wall. So I'm really, really happy with that. Going back to the change in plants, I did change a lot, just based off of my favorites, but also their growth patterns. So like this pink one in the back corner here, let me bring you in closer. This pink one back here, I actually put back there because it's I thought it was going to be bigger leaved and less internodal spacing, but it actually has quite a bit of internodal spacing. I mean, you guys can kind of see that. If you guys can kind of see that internodal spacing back there, like this is one node and that's another node. And the leaves really aren't that big. They're kind of small, which I wasn't really expecting. I think it's also just at a really immature stage right now, and maybe as it grows in here, it'll grow bigger leaves and smaller internodal spacing. I kind of put that one in the corner because it does pop a lot, and this is kind of like a darker area, and so I feel like having that pink really helps it pop. And I did move this one out, which this one has become one of my favorites in this terrarium. I just love the sheen. It's so beautiful. And I moved it out because in that corner it was just way too dark. I almost never saw it, and I think it'd be really cool if it started climbing this cork bark, if I can keep it like moist enough and stuff. But right now I do have it pinned into that little spot. And I also moved this one, which this one has become probably my favorite in here. Like, genuinely, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't get this plant. I mean, I think when I first saw it in the pictures and stuff, I didn't really enjoy it as much as, you know, I do now. And so definitely owning it and having it really does change my perspective on this plant. And it is like literally one of my favorites from this batch of botanicas that I got. It is so beautiful, so stunning, and I don't know what this terrarium would have been without this plant. I do really enjoy how big the leaves get, and just like this spotting on it, it is so beautiful. And it is literally my all-time favorite of this batch of this haul from botanicas. And yeah, I did also move these two. These two have kind of fallen at the bottom of my favorites. I wouldn't say they're not my favorite. I think this one definitely isn't a favorite. I don't know, something about this plant just, it's not really hitting the spot for me. It's just not really doing it. I did chop it down actually, and I gave a cutting to a friend, which I'm rooting that up. But I don't know, it just doesn't really, I like the leaf shape, but the pink, I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of. It also, as it matures, the pink turns into like spots that end up going up the veins, sort of like towards the sinus. But I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see how it grows in, and if I really keep this, I might just give the whole plant to my friend if I really just end up not enjoying it. But I think I just need a little bit of time, because when I originally got this, or when I originally saw it, I did really enjoy the metallic sheen that it has, and I still do really like that. But I just think that all of these features combined together just aren't really doing it for me. And this one, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this one. I do like it, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not my favorite. I feel like all of my other favorites kind of have a feature that I really love about them. Like this one with the spots. This one with the color, but also the growth pattern. This one has been kind of a slow grower. I think it's just now giving me a new leaf, and it's been like over a month of having this in here, I think. Maybe less than a month actually from when I got these plants. But yeah, and then the pink, you know, like all of these have a feature that I really like about them. This one is beautiful, don't get me wrong, and I think this one actually is one of those begonias that has a blue shift to it, which, I mean, maybe that'll make me enjoy it more, but as of right now, it's not, I'm not like crazy about it. The leaf shape is very unique though. And yeah, as you guys can see, some of these are actually flowering, which I'm super happy with. This one up here is actually also flowering, which I'm just so happy with their growth and the fact that they're doing well as well. I don't really have many complaints. Besides, I don't know, what do I have to complain about? Nothing really. Like, this thing has been such a dream to grow, to watch, to look at, like to take photos of, which I actually haven't done very much of, but I think that it's really turning into a dream. And I also do have my Lubersii in here. It's actually this stick right here. Yeah, my Lubersii hasn't been doing the greatest, and it's literally that little stick right there on the tip of my finger. So hopefully that grows in and I can display that in here as well, because I would love, Lubersii in here would literally go crazy, so I would love that. Oh, another issue, actually. Let's go into the issues of this right now. I actually don't have an appropriate way to put the door on here. I've just been using tape, which I do want to figure out. I was either thinking of like drilling something in here so that it would like actually be a hinge. I also thought about like maybe using like a silicone hinge, which I have seen people with aquariums do, but I thinking about that more, I'm not sure how it would work, like if it would actually function like a hinge, especially since this is a corner and not just like a ledge, not just like a ledge meeting with a ledge like this, because normally you put that on the gap between those two, and so since this is a corner, I'm not entirely sure how this would work. Yeah, but the tape is definitely not the best look. Like, you can see how ugly it leaves the little like sticky particles on here, which I need to get rid of. I can just get rid of this with isopropyl alcohol, but I just need to really rework this whole door. I do really like this like clean look of it though. Like, I don't want to mess up these clean lines that we're getting. I don't want anything to be in the way of like the plants. And so if you guys have any thoughts on what I could do for this hinge, let me know. I haven't really looked into it too much besides like literally thinking about drilling into this plexiglass and, you know, attaching like a gold hinge or something, like just to give an example, I guess. But let me know if you guys have any ideas of how I could make a hinge or give this door a hinge without it being intrusive to the whole like front display of this. One thing that I do want to add to this in the future is actually isopods and like livestock. I do really want to get isopods for this terrarium, but the issue that I see with that is, one, this is a very small square footage to put isopods in, and so I think I'd have to go with a smaller species of isopods, and on top of that, I don't think I'd want to keep a separate culture from what's in here. Like, this technically would be the culture of isopods, which normally you have like, you put your isopods in the tank and then you keep a separate like containment of them, just in case something happens to them. I don't know, just to like keep breeding them as well. I guess I could buy the culture and then put whatever I need in here and then sell the culture, but I don't know, that just doesn't feel right. I haven't done much research on isopods or like even livestock in here. I have been dumping like springtails from my like plants and stuff, because like with plants that have, especially in my acrobar, they have a little container that they sit in, and in that container with the leftover water, sometimes they'll like springtails will just grow in it, and so I'll take that water and just dump it in here. But so far I haven't noticed any issues with like, I don't know, decaying stuff being too much or like anything like that. I haven't really noticed too many issues with that, but it is something that I want to add, and I'm really happy with how I took this terrarium. Like, I didn't stress about, you know, putting in plants as fast as possible, putting in livestock as fast as possible. I really focused on getting this thing like to the right look that I wanted it to, but also like with the silicone smell, I don't want to add in, you know, a bunch of plants into an area where they can sort of decline, especially because of that silicone smell. It was a lot for me, and I can imagine for those plants, like, it doesn't really help their growth, or maybe it does. I don't really know the scientific backing behind all of that. I really didn't want to focus on adding livestock and isopods first when this thing wasn't even really like balanced, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. Like, it wasn't really at a good state, with the gas that was in it, not gas, but like with the fumes from the silicone that was in here. I just didn't want to, you know, rush into that and force something that could have been pretty bad. Also, watering this thing is pretty easy. Where did I put that? I actually have a spray bottle that I fill with distilled water, and I will just like, maybe once a week, I don't even think that's necessary, but I will just go in here and like spray things down. It's been pretty easy going. Like, it's not like it dries out like crazy. Of course, it's like a little terrarium. It isn't high maintenance whatsoever. It's actually been the easiest care out of a lot of my plants. Yeah, I don't have any fans in here. This door actually does tend to bow at the ends. This is kind of a bad example because this isn't really stuck, but it'll kind of go concave in the end, and then it'll push these edges out, and I've tried like flipping it around. It's just how plexiglass is. I think it's because of the humidity, but also like the forcing of like being straight at the bottom. It kind of just has to give somewhere, and these corners is where it's been giving, and so there is some sort of air exchange between that. It's right next to my door. To the left of me right now is actually the door, and so I can imagine that a lot of fresh air tends to go in there, but I haven't really focused on like putting a fan in here. I don't think it's that big, and so a fan really wouldn't help. It would actually probably do it worse than it would help. I've been pretty happy with the care and with the whole watering situation of this. I don't feel the need to really add anything or take away anything. Like, I always knew that I was going to make one, and I just slowly, you know, accumulated things, built things up to really make this thing. Like this wood, I got like maybe close to a year ago. Same with the cork bark. Like, I've had these things for so long, and it was always in the like vision that I would be building this thing at some point. The cork bark, not really. The cork bark I just had because I knew I would want to mount something, and then it just ended up working out for this, which is like perfect. I don't mind that. Yeah, I'm really happy with how I've slowly accumulated things to, you know, have this thing be what it is today. Like, even just this display thing, if I can find something similar, I will try to find something similar, because I really do love that I did it with this, you know, wood frame, and it is just literally my dream terrarium. I'm super happy with deciding to slowly build up to this thing and slowly make it what it is. Yeah, I'm just super happy with this. And if you guys are wanting to build one, I'm open to questions. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Also message me with updates. I would love to see your guys' personal builds and how they're coming along. I'm super happy with this, and I might even go back and take a look at my previous inspiration to see if I can add anything else that I really wanted or really liked in the other ones. And I do want to give you guys a final update on the like non-terrarium begonias, the 2 begonias that I got that aren't in here from Botanicas, which they're doing so well, and they are also probably one of my favorites from this haul. They're just stunning. So let's go take a look. I am going to take them out because they're actually in my IKEA Acrobar. Oh my god. Okay, this is like perfect. Okay, let me take this out. So I think this was like Botanicas 105 version 2, and this is one of the cuttings. This plant is genuinely so beautiful. Like, I cannot express to you how like taken off my feet this plant has me. Like, it is genuinely probably one of my favorite buys from this, second to like that purpley spotty one. This is one of my favorite ones out of the, you know, shipment that I got, and it's been such an easy grower, like super easy. Again, I have it in my Acrobar. I don't even really have consistent humidity in here, and it is a bigger leaf Toya. Like, literally this is like the size of my hand, but it is it's so easygoing. It's so beautiful. I've repotted this thing like 3 times, and just look at it, you guys. I literally can't. It is one of my favorites, even if it's not in the terrarium, you know. I love it so much, and it like makes me excited, because Botanicas to me has always been like a terrarium begonia shop, and the fact that this isn't growing in terrarium conditions and it's growing just fine, I'm shocked. And look at it, it's literally flowering. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. It's so perfect. And it does have a new leaf as well. It's been taking a while to actually size up. It has been sizing up very slowly, but I don't know, I'm so excited to have this begonia. And like, I don't know if I've actually showed this begonia recently, but my begonias have been getting pretty big. Like, this is my Arabian Sunset, and you can see it's pretty sizable. But my taconite, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like, if it gets this big, like, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. Like, also, have I shown you guys this? I don't know, but this is my Begonia taconite, and I love this plant. Like, this is my top favorites up there with my Politoform, with my Solanum. Like, this is just such a classic in my collection. It's super easy going. I think this is actually a new leaf, but like if it gets this big, I'm gonna die. I'm literally gonna die. Like, it is so beautiful. And I just can see it growing in my collection for ages and ages. So I just love it. I love begonias. They're literally one of my favorite genus now. Look at this. And it actually, like, it genuinely is this dark. I'm not even kidding. You guys can see it up against my shirt. This isn't white. It's like a creamy white, but like it is super, super dark. And this is one of those begonias that has that blue shift. And it is a very, very strong blue shift. Like, even when it's underneath my Sansi bulb, I can see it if I, you know, walk up to it at a certain angle. And it is just so beautiful. Does this thing, oh my god, this thing needs water. Okay, I need to water this. But yeah, if it gets this big, I will be the happiest person on the planet. Like, literally so happy, so content. So yeah, that is one of the cuttings that I got. This is the stem cutting, not the leaf cutting. And I love it so much. I really do. So let me show you guys the leaf cutting now. Here is the leaf cutting. It still hasn't really done anything. Like, it hasn't given me new plantlets or anything, but it has rooted up very, very well. You can kind of see some of the roots at the bottom here. But again, this leaf, are you kidding me? I love it so much. I really do. This is probably becoming one of my favorite plants. If these are the same, I'm pretty sure these are the same kind, because I think that maybe they aren't, actually. They kind of do look really different. I'm unsure, but if these are the same, we're gonna have, you know, a giant plant. But if they're different, then I'll have two separate plants, because I do really like this more, like, just look at that. It reminds me of like cottagey houses, like cottage roofs, and the like algae and moss is just built up and it's like running down the roof or whatever. I don't know, it's just something about it really does remind me of just like cottage houses. I don't know if that's the right terminology or the right, you know, connection to what I'm seeing, but it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. So I really hope this one does sprout something soon, and I have also repotted this one quite a few times, because it's been rooting up really, really well. Yeah, that one's amazing. This one is amazing. I absolutely love this one so much. You can clearly tell like which one's my favorite, but I don't know, something about this leaf just really gets me. It's so beautiful, and it's flowering. Genuinely, I could not have wished for a better outcome. Even now, as I'm like staring at it from over here, it is so beautiful, and I can't say enough about it. I can't say enough good things. If you want a terrarium, if you've been thinking about building out a terrarium, do it. Trust me. Like, I don't want to say I did the best research. I did like right above, just a little bit above the bare minimum of research and just like observation of like other people building out terrariums. I feel like it came out perfectly. It's so beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted and more, like with all of these begonias. And yeah, I'm very satisfied. And so if you guys are wanting or thinking about it, but you know, hesitating, maybe you don't feel like you know enough, do it. Trust me. I am open to questions. If you guys have questions, leave them down below. I will do my best to be as a resource to you guys, I guess, just based off of my experience of building this thing out. But yeah, I hope you guys are inspired to make a terrarium, and if you're not, then I hope you enjoyed the video. But with all that being said, I think that is everything. I do just want to show you guys this plant one more time, because I love it. I really do. I haven't even looked at this thing in such a long time. It's kind of crowded by like my bigger plants. It's so beautiful. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. And it does have those beautiful red backs as well. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I truly hope you enjoyed this video.